YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels back with some more NFL content. We're breaking down the top 100. That's aired on NFL Network every Monday.
Yeah.
We're on to 70 through 61. We're breaking it down, our thoughts, if guys are too high, too low, or just right. Let's
Just right or
just right. Yeah. Let's start with number 70. Devonta Freeman, 41 to 70. The Atlanta Falcons running back. Interesting one because if healthy, if not concussed, I think Freeman is even better than 41 probably.
if not concussed. That's a big if.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. I think he's.
But 70 could be right for last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just such a factor.
He's a big factor of that offense.
Coleman's maybe just as much as a factor though, if he gets as many touches.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Who's the Falcons? I don't know if they're going to keep both for the future. They're going to be. I mean, they want to, I'm sure, but
I think he's priority.
Think so?
Mr.
Freeman?
DEVONTA, yeah.
I think it might be Coleman because Freeman's injuries,
It's just concussions.
and they're both easily starting worthy on a team. But we will see. So at 70, I think we're okay. But if 100% healthy, he's one of the better backs in football.
Mm-hmm.
Serious fantasy threat.
Yeah, I would
Because he
agree
catches
with
the
that.
ball out of the backfield very well. But 69 was Fletcher Cox. 38 last year. 69 this year. Maybe one of the best players on the Eagles. And a big part of winning the Super Bowl was the D-line. I am very surprised by this
Should
one.
be way higher.
I thought he'd be way higher. I don't think he lit up the stat sheet because I think he forced pressure on the quarterback. As a D tackle, keep in mind. He stopped the run plays, but they were not solo tackles because all the good talent on the Eagles D line. So I don't know if it showed up on the stat sheets. Maybe that's why he's down at 69. But he was such a factor that I think honestly the D tackles that we've seen on the list so far and the D tackles that are right here are coming, I think they're very underrated. Very underrated.
And I agree. 100% agree.
So I don't know if any Eagles fans out there, you got to be upset.
I'm upset
I'm
about
upset,
this.
and I'm not an Eagles fan.
Right.
The Eagles kicked the absolute you-know-what out of my team recently.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
And I'm not happy about this ranking.
Speaking of the Eagles.
Back-to-back Eagles, Zach Ertz, he was not ranked last year, which is surprising.
That's
68.
Yeah, but he's kind of banged up.
Yeah. 68. I think another one that could have been higher, better ranked, I mean. But I'm not going to complain too much about this one.
Yeah, I would say this is about where he should fall. If anything, a little higher, but it wouldn't be nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, let's see.
67. Telvin Smith, Jaguars linebacker.
Very underrated.
He had a hell of a year last year. Maybe it's because, he was always pretty solid, but he wasn't like top 100 worthy. And last year, he was easily top 100. So based off last year, he should be better than 67.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because you don't know what you're going to get really because he hasn't really produced all of his years. But based on last year, again, I would rank him better than 67. Had a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can see it happen again, what he did last year. I can easily see it.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it.
Him and Miles Jack. It's a good little duo. Big duo.
Real big.
67, so yeah, I think I would go a little higher. 66 was Jarrell Casey, another D tackle from the Titans. I said a lot of the D tackles were underrated. I think this should be his range. I'm surprised Fletcher Cox or even Linval Joseph aren't ahead of him, but it's not that big of a deal. They're all very, very good. Well, it's actually a little different because in the 3-4, he's more of an end, but he would be more of a D tackle in the 4-3, so that's how I look at it. I would rank him, if I had to combine him, I'd rank him with the D tackles. But because they're similar style players, they're asked to do similar things, and that's how they play. They play in similar style.
That's a respectable jump right there.
86, 60, yeah. One of the better players on the Titans. He's been the best player on the Titans defense for a long time now, been a Pro Bowler. So very good player. This is probably where I would rank him.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe Fletcher Cox was where he was. But on to 65, Stephon Diggs, the Vikings wide receiver, Minnesota Miracle receiver. Not ranked last year, ranked this year. I'm good with this ranking.
Yeah, I'm good. Especially when you look at another receiver they have that I'm anticipating.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting debate because some people do view Diggs better than Thielen, even though Thielen's stats were better. I think most people look at that. I don't know. Thielen dominated last year.
Yeah.
So where's Thielen going to be on this list? That's the next interesting thing.
I'm curious in general to see where a lot of these top-tier receivers are going to fall, including Thielen. Like,
Oh, yeah, because like Antonio Brown, like
Julio,
he's got to be top
like,
10.
where all those
yeah.
guys going to go? I'm
Could
very
be interesting.
curious.
Yeah, but I think 65 is good for Diggs. I'm just really curious to see where Thielen's going to be. I think they're pretty even. I think Diggs has more skills. I think Thielen runs better routes, maybe catches the ball a little better. But I think Diggs can do more. He can make that more of a big play. I think he's better in the red zone. I think sometimes I think Diggs has, I mentioned it before, he has eyes in the back of his head, and he catches the ball at a comeback. He just knows where defenders are at. So maybe people view Diggs. What if Thielen's not even on this list?
I would be upset.
I think he's got to be on the list.
I would agree with everything you said, but I think Thielen is more of that clutch guy. I know Diggs had that crazy playoff play, but I think when they need a for sure, I think more of a sure-handed receiver to go get this ball. I see more of Thielen.
Well,
like
that.
that.
Third down, work in the field, I think it's Thielen. But I think if you're in the red zone, I think Diggs is better.
Yeah, he's better. Yeah, better red zone threat. I would agree with that.
And he can break more tackles. Sometimes it looks like he's a running back when he catches the ball, or after he catches the ball. But see, I'm good with 65. 64 is Richard Sherman.
I'm not good with this one.
You're not good?
Not good with this one.
I think he has the ability to be up here in the past. I mean, well, he was 21 last year, but the injury last year, going to a new team, is he still a little hurt? Is he ready to play? Seahawks didn't really want him anymore. I'm sure they don't think he's up here. He should be up here. I would still probably put him in the top 100, but
he
not
would
64.
be under 80 for me.
Yeah.
Or I guess 80 to 100. He'd be in that range for me, just because injury and like he needs to produce to be up here. I don't agree. They
got him in the Niners jersey on here.
That's interesting.
Some guys they didn't have that.
So that's if they're going off that, that's even.
You don't like it? 63 is Geno Atkins, Bengals defensive tackle. Another defensive tackle I think should be ranked way higher. He was underrated last year at 68, underrated 63 this year. The guy's a man.
Very underrated.
He's a man. That's just how I describe it. I think very underrated at 63, just like Fletcher Cox. I think Atkins has been playing at a high level longer than Fletcher Cox. So it's a debate. Who's better, Atkins or Cox? That's a different debate, but I think they both should be way higher ranked. I can't believe he was even 68 last year. He was even more underrated last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think clearly the best player on the Bengals defense. He's just such a beast. Such a just dominant player. Run game and the pass game. Again, there's like some of these D tackles that are on this list that are underrated. I think they're underrated mainly because their main job is to stop the run. They do it at elite level, but they also get after the passer as well, which is like you ask that from your DNs. You want your D tackles to do it here and there, but you don't ask more of that. And these guys are they're elite in that category too. Like Aaron Donald, where's Aaron Donald going to be on this list? He's going to be top 10 probably.
Yeah.
I don't think Atkins is that far under. Donald's better, but I don't think Atkins is that far under Aaron Donald. So it's somebody that's 63 and then somebody's going to be top 10, maybe even top 5, which I'm okay with Aaron Donald being up there, but my point is Atkins shouldn't be that much lower than he is, so, or Fletcher Cox. So I don't like the 63, and I think you agree. Yep.
Yeah.
62 is Micah Hyde, the Bills safety. I think the way he played last year was around the 62, but I don't know if I would rank him 62. I think the way he played last year, I think there was some good safeties last year. I think maybe his 70, 80 range. So, but that was like his only. I wasn't really a fan of him. He was like on the Packers, he would sub in, make a good play here and there, and he'd be mainly a factor in the return game. So I think 62 is a little high, but if he plays like he did last year or he gets better, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if
Bill's got a good duo over there at safety.
if he's gonna
two surprising guys,
right, and I think that's like the big thing. So he was like a surprise to being like this good. But I think if he keeps it up, I'd agree. I think this is a perfect spot for him, if not higher, if he can improve his game.
Yeah, he's still young, so we'll see. On to 61. Last one of this list, last one of this video, I should say. It's Ndamukong Suh, the Dolphins D tackle, now picked up by the Rams, now the Rams D tackle. So he comes in at 55 last year, going to 61. This one's very interesting to me because he was always a 4-3 D tackle, but the Rams run a 3-4. So it's going to be a little different to him. Some people view him, maybe he wasn't playing in the right defense all along, but that's what he was used to. So, I mean, he honestly can be way better in a new defense, or he could just not pick it up at all maybe in the beginning of the season and that'll hurt his production, so he could be way off this list. It's just for predicting the future. But as far as like, does he deserve to be here? I can't say no, but I think those other D tackles outplayed him. But not only just last year, but the year before.
If this is moving forward, though, I think he's going to have a good year because
people are worried about
they're going to be way more worried about Darnold. So I think that he's going to Ndamukong Suh is good. He's good. He's good even when he's the main guy.
Yeah.
Imagine he's not the main guy and he's going to be. I think this is fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, but at the same time, I think Geno Atkins. I think
those guys that have
Fletcher Cox, Jarrell Casey, Linval Joseph. I think those guys are ranked behind him that all have outplayed him the last 2 or even more years. But Suh has it in him to be ranked here. It can be helped by the Rams. Wade Phillips is a genius, so he could be ranked even higher in this. He could be off the list. So it's an interesting one. I'm not going to complain about the exact rank number, that number 61 for him. It's just, again, I think the D tackles ranked below him outplayed him easily.
But I do see this drop off from the year before. I'm okay with that. I think this is a big what if. I think this is probably the biggest what if out of every D tackle.
Yeah.
Out of any of them, this is the biggest one.
Yeah, he's basically changing positions too. So
that could either be terrible or be good for him. And
I think the main question is it going to be Darnold and Suh at end? The main question is he athletic enough coming to the end? I know he can slide inside. That's the impressive thing about him. I think he can play that nose or that end spot in a 3-4. That's very impressive from coming from a 4-3 D tackle pretty much his career. So maybe he'll be asked to get after the passer a little more, which he did do in college a lot. So we will see. It's going to be a fun one to look out for, I think, this year. Definitely a player to look out for, how he pairs with Aaron Donald. Does he improve Donald's game? Does Donald improve his game? Or does Donald just keep getting better because he's young and just one of the best players in football? We won't be hearing his name for a few weeks on this. So,
or are we?
No, he's on the list.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this one. We're all caught up on these rankings, so I'll have to wait till the next week to give our review on the next 10. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 10K subscribers.
Or more.
It's a long way to go. But
we're always thinking ahead.
But yeah, from the jump from last year to this year has been ridiculous. That's the only reason that we can continue to do this. We can continue to do this at a high level. We want to get it higher. We want to get better content.
Without PEDs.
Without the PEDs like some of these players do. We want to continue to get better. And I think we're going to do it because of you guys. So thanks for the support.
Let's go.
That'll do it for this one. Goodbye.